So, hello all. Thanks for coming here. I'm Menelaos Petousis. I'm the co-founder and CTO of Dikaio.ai and Dikaio.ai, the company we had Dikaio.ai. My background is in software engineering. I'm pretty glad being here tonight because here in OT Academy it was my first job here, and it was quite nice being again up to this stage. After that, I followed the software engineering path. I worked in some software engineer companies, software agencies, Wind, Workable, and at Workable I met Michalis Rikakis. Michalis Rikakis was the CPO of Workable product, and back then we had an idea to make Dikaio.ai along with our third co-founder, Vasos Fika, who is the lawyer of the team. So what's Dikaio.ai? It's the first critical AI platform that helps the lawyers, individuals, legal professionals, corporates, companies, and all the stuff, reduce the time making legal research and legal drafting and all the compliance workflows they want to have. So today here, I'm gonna walk you through our journey turning a legal AI into a company. Okay, nice. Okay. I want to set up the scene a little bit because the presentation is not very synced. My background was, as I said before, it was engineering. I had a very structured mindset. I was an engineer. I knew how to make it work, how to make it right, and how to make it fast. And I reiterate in production. So if a mistake happens, if a bug occurs, what's going on, we alert, we monitor the production, and we fix it. Okay, it's not that big issue because it has not a very, very big impact on the final client. Maybe it could be financial impact, but it's not the same impact as our buyers, the lawyers' mindset have. So our buyers have the privacy. As a first-class citizen, they trust the precedents, and when done, what the done means for them is that they have signed the contract, that they have done the due diligence, and maybe one mistake for their clients has a very, very bigger impact because maybe land his client into prison. Okay, so that's not the same case from my perspective. And what I try to do is to put myself in the client's shoes, and that was the first challenge for me and tried to overcome. Nice, now we're synced. But you can't do this alone. No matter how good your code is and your agents and all that stuff, you need the right team. And the right team helped me a lot on this journey. And I think this is the number one factor for the success of a company at this stage, because the people are very important, and of course the product and the idea. And as the code says, we of course need a team. But now in the AI era, we have all these agents. We have our friend OpenClaw that may create a full one-man and one-woman company now. But I was thinking out loud, but even OpenClaw creates sub-agents, so creates the structure of a company and a team. So it's a little bit the same. So once we have all done, and once we have all the team up and working, I'm very proud for the team we've made. It's going to have, we need two types of validations. We need the product and the market validation. So the product validation is that can my product solve the customer's problem? As you may know, that's the POC, right? So what did we do back then? We created a UI chat interface. We experimented with ChatGPT 3.5 and all that intellectual great LLMs back then. And we tried to ingest and collect some very few liquor corporas, but to be operational. So we want to have specific cases and to work on them. And after that, we set up a very simple RAG with this corpora, and we saw that it worked, and it worked fine at the level we wanted. So the next phase was collecting much more text and data, and we tried to expand our scope. And along with our co-founder, Vasos Fika, hello Vaso, who is the lawyer, we tried to fine-tune the system, and we tried to fine-tune so as to make the product much closer to what the lawyer needs. So, along with Vaso, we did all the fine-tuning. We did some legal phrasing changes. We did some nuance changes at the response, and we also set up the citations at the end of the answer, because once we have the RAG, we retrieve data, and we have the public data sources inside our data. So the citations are those who say they are correct. The second phase of the validation is the market validation. So would anyone buy this solution? Okay, because we did that, we saw it work, and okay, we don't know if it works at the market. So what we did was we set up a landing page, a very simple landing page. We tried to have a very clear value proposition to be visually appealing and beautiful. And at the bottom of the landing page, we have an email for input. And what happened? We posted that landing page on the Facebook groups for Greek lawyers. There are some closed Facebook groups. And after 30 minutes, we saw that our inbox flooded with mails, and it was quite nice for us because we felt that something's going on here, and maybe it's the time to go for that. And that was the green light, of course, to quit our jobs back then. And now, since we have the product and the market validation, what we have now, we wanted to expand our data infrastructure and all of that stuff. So we tried to collect more data. We tried to collect the civil law. We tried to collect a lot of laws and to ingest into our RAG pipeline. And that's the hard case for the Greek legislation and the Greek jurisdiction. Why? Because the data sources are so fragmented all over the place. They are not structured. There are PDFs, there are images. They're a case for an engineer like me. And we tried very, very hard to find the data. And that's one blocker of other guys. Back then, some of my colleagues and my friends, they tried out to make the same. But the blocker for them was the data. And who's the elephant in the room? The FEC. Whoa, great. What's the FEC? The Greek Government Gazette. These are the documents that the Greek government issues. They have the laws. They have all the addition of the articles, the amendments, the deletions, and all that stuff. So, as I said before, it was very structure unfriendly and very hard to get. And the problem is that, let me tell an example. We have a FEC of 2024 with a law, and also we have a FEC of 2026. The FEC of 2026 changes some articles of the previous one, deletes some one, adds some more. So the problem in the retrieval phase is not so simple. So we could not just get all the public FEC documents, ingest them, and make retrieval, because we have problems with the retrieval, because we could retrieve some parts that are not up to date. So we had to make a mechanism to get this legislation at the latest snapshot, and we have to keep it up to date all the time. So we created the mechanisms with our own algorithms, with AI, and with human in the loop, so as to get always the latest snapshot of the legislation, and the court decision as well are much easier because they are public data, and we could just get them. And after that, in terms of scaling, we tried back then to translate, because the embeddings, and I don't know who are familiar with embeddings and vectors, great things, of course, and they couldn't support very good the multilingual part of implementation. So we tried to make some translations, and we have, it was very bad if you want to translate and to ingest and translate it and retrieve and make again the translation from the Greek to English, and to Greek back. You lose on the semantics and the terminology. So when we overcame this problem, the mode became, the mode of our product was the data, of course, and after that, once we got the data and we were able to make a flow like that, so retrieving data and make the citations here as part of the answer, we were working on it, we focus on the workflows. So we did a lot of job with customer interviews, and at the support channel, we're very close to our customers. We try to always understand what do they want from us. And of course, the customer experience is a part that we knew that back then, because all of us were coming from an engineering and technical perspective, most of us at least, and we knew how to build a good product. And so there are some insights from our customers, and now the Greek lawyers with Dikaio.ai can draft a contract in some minutes instead of hours, the same as when conducting a legal research. Because the thing is that we replace the traditional way of searching, because if I'm a lawyer, I have to search the Google to find the correct legislation court decision part relative to my inquiry, and after that I have to ask a colleague, and it's time. So once we have all the data, we can do all that work for him. And of course, the tech serves the customer, it's not the reverse, it's very important. And one other thing that we do is we measure everything. We measure everything in privacy first way with our tools, so as to understand how they can use our own product, the customers, and we improve it all the time. And of course, stay close to our customer. And all that ended up at one clear signal for us, which is the renewal. If the customer comes back, it means for us that we could do something in a good way. And what about Dikaio today and the numbers? We have 20K registered users, and out of 45K registered lawyers. The 45K is the number comes from the Anti Bar Association, and just to clarify, the 20K users are not all of them lawyers, of course, are engineers, are public sector, notaries, accountants, etc., etc. So we have a good enough portion of the market so far. We daily serve around 3K legal questions, and we create more than 150 daily drafts. So that's the big numbers until now. The heart of our product is a PLG machine. We try to make the product very easy and accessible to sign up, to log in, to understand what the user what actions the user can make inside the product. We make it very easy how to upgrade. We make less easy to downgrade. as you may imagine. And that's the heart of our product. Also, we have another layer on top. We have the technical SEO that feeds the top of the funnel, and it converts the visitors from the visitors to users in a free of charge for us. And after that, since we have all the mechanisms in place, we have the business model, which is a freemium model. So every month, we offer our users and our customers some credits. One credit corresponds to one legal question or two drafting pages. So we offer every month 10 credits for all our customers, and the user to paid conversion is 6.5%, with an average of the industry to between 2 and 5%. So I think it seems that based on the monitoring we had, we make a good job. So that's Dikaio so far. It's okay. What's the next date for Dikaio? Of course, it's the agentic workflows. It's very hyped, it's very sexy, the agentic, of course, and we're on it at this time. So we have the model, it's the foundation of us, it's a layer, it's a vendor-agnostic engine. We don't stick to provider, we don't want to have one single provider for that. So we pick the right model, LLM model for the right task. And after that, we have another layer, that's the customer knowledge, which is the ground truth for us, apart from the legislation, the data. We already have ingestion and we keep them up to date. So at this level, we connect with the Google Drive and Microsoft OneDrive, and we keep the customer's data at this place. We do not get them, we do not duplicate all the data, so it's better for an infrastructure as well. And the final step is the agentic flow that covers all the previous ones, which is, so far Dikaio makes one step at a time actions, makes a legal question, makes a drafting, and makes a redlining at the document. The next phase is the agentic flow that makes all together, makes a multi-step action. Of course, you all know the agentic flow, how they work. And it's interesting because there are liability issues and trust issues to keep the human in the loop in all that agentic journey. So, to conclude, the most important thing for us is to earn a place at our customers' workflow, to understand deeply what they need and how to serve it in the best way. And that's our journey so far. Thank you very much.
Great, thank you. Any questions? Yes.
Have you tried developing an agent that is actually a judge?
Judge.
Okay, judge. Judge in what terms? Judge of...
Want to be tried.
Okay, so connecting to that, if you create an agent or a system or something like that, that is a judge and makes decision based on that, at the first level, we have high impact system based on the AI Act. To be honest, no, we haven't tried to create a judge, but Dikaio.ai so far is not a high impact, high risk system. So no, we haven't tried, and I know that some USA companies have tried out, but we didn't do.
Yeah.
Various legal disputes never go to the court. They usually the two parties get into an agreement.
Mm-hmm.
And I, as a user, not as a lawyer, I find that very interesting because it could potentially provide me feedback what is the most probable to happen or how to avoid the conflict because of waiting such things. Have you considered, or would you consider, and would you find this useful, and would you be able to get such kind of data that maybe they are not recorded, but could be interesting for you?
Okay, nice question as well. So, no, we haven't been thinking something like that so far. We want to serve the customers and the lawyers and to get to be a part of their workflows. So we don't want to make the next step for the Greek jurisdiction, the Greek way of making decisions, because we have plans to expand in EU. So I think it's a very sensitive issue to try to ingest previously related data and to make some predictions, right? And it's something that we're not considering about right now.
It was.
Do you plan to have some API? You have some clients that, for example, from law 3869, Katseli's law, okay? They would like to have some format of data in a form of, let's say, tables and data extracted.
Okay, the question was, if I heard it right, okay, if we provide an API regarding those.
Based on some rule court decisions, we'd like some of our customers to get let's say, the decision, but in a format that can be handled by a system.
Okay, so yes, we actually have some APIs in place that is not part of our basic offering. It's part of our enterprise offering. We will also have some MCPs as well for agentic flows you possibly want to include your system. And that I would say that since we have all the legislation and the core decision, via the APIs, you can do all the legal license you want. So you could focus on some specific areas, and we can also help you make it in a more accurate and precise way. So it's something that we now offer, and we could do.
Okay, last one.
Could you give us some words regarding your technology stack, please?
Okay. Of course, as I said before, we have a RAG set up. We have a multi-step RAG set up right now. So we get the question, we contextualize it with AI, we get more data and enrich the query. And after that, we make a lot of parallel calls to our vector databases. And we want to do some magic inside with all the metadata we have. So we have the vector database. Of course, we have all the stuff of databases. We have Postgres, we have Redis, we have Mongo, and we host our platform in serverless environments so as to be easy for us to scale. So as I said before, the day one, there was a POC, an MCP, no customers, and not a lot of traffic. And with serverless, we could scale very, very easy. And yeah, of course, yeah, because in terms of cost, because hiring people maybe is not the case for us, and at this stage we are right now, we could. It's okay for us, the serverless. So that's a brief from our stack.
Thank you. So Menelaos will be available to you